Hello, it's Sarah again, and today I'm going to talk to you about the persuasive speech assignment. Building on what you did for your informative speech, you're now going to take the skills you've worked on developing for your informative speech and apply them to your persuasive speech. So this speech is still going to rely on some of the same things as your first one. You're going to practice extemporaneous speaking. You're going to work on good delivery skills, integrating research into your presentation, but you're going to advance and kind of build on what you did for those first couple of speeches. So this speech should solely focus on trying to persuade your audience to adopt a specific belief, maybe change a value, have them take a specific action, and you want to do that by either convincing them to take a specific action or strengthen or weaken a position that they believe. So you'll want to go over the assignment instructions just to kind of make sure you're very comfortable with all of the details for this assignment that I have talked about. But I want to hit some of the highlights for you on what you should be doing for the persuasive speech. So this time, instead of speaking only for 4 to 6 minutes, you need to shoot for 5 to 7 minutes. And you're, again, going to focus on persuading your audience in some way. So if there was a topic you were thinking about for your informative speech that I said, well, it's a little persuasive, maybe you want to save it for your speech, now's the time to use it. I've also got a list of sample persuasive topics that you can find in the supplemental materials folder on our Blackboard page. So you're speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. You're going to practice extemporaneous speaking. And that means you're going to do the same thing you did for your informative speech. Type up an outline, not a script. Please don't read your script. Please do not read your outline word for word. It is not an okay way to deliver a speech. So you're going to write the outline that gives you an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And you want to make sure that you use some kind of persuasive organizational pattern. Problem, cause, solution, cause and effect, refutation, motivated sequence. I would strongly suggest that you look at chapter 15 to help you clarify what those different patterns look like. And then, of course, feel free to please ask me if you have more specific questions about the details of your outline. In addition to speaking extemporaneously, you are going to need to have 5 verbal sources this time. 5 sources in your outline that you will then verbally cite. So as a reminder, whenever you are giving a verbal citation, what you're doing is attributing the information to a specific source. For the first speech, I just wanted you to practice doing it. This time, I want you to really try to integrate those sources more seamlessly, give them more credibility in your speech. One way that you can do that is by telling us a couple of different details about them. So for example, you would need to say, the New York Times author Michael Barbaro wrote an article in 2017 called, Why Public Speaking is the Best, that says blah, 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 blah. So that's got lots of pieces of information about the source. It's got the publication name, it's got the article title, the author's name, the year of publication. 4 different pieces of information I said in that citation. I just want you to use at least 2, but you do need to practice that and really be thinking about the credibility, the quality of the sources that you're using. You need to do this 5 times during this speech. You will also have to practice using some kind of presentation aid. I'm not worried about what the presentation aid is. It can be an object, it could be a small sign, it could be a handout, it could be a PowerPoint. Depending on what your speaking setup looks like, do what's best for you, what makes sense for you, and go ahead and, charge forward with that. I don't need to see it. I don't need to approve it beforehand, but I will happily give you advice and feedback if you have questions for me about that. So you've got to use some kind of presentation aid. It's worth 10 points out of your speech. don't neglect it. Don't forget it, because that's essentially a full letter grade if you just don't do it. So yeah, that's kind of all of the highlights of the assignment I wanted to talk about. This is worth 100 points, just like your informative speech. 10 points go towards the outline. You can find the critique sheet, which looks very similar to the informative speech critique sheet, except for I'm looking for things a little bit differently this time. Do still practice good delivery skills, eye contact, volume, avoiding verbal fillers, using gestures, making sure you've got 10 audience members. All of those things that you did for the informative speech, keep them up for this persuasive speech. You need to have it uploaded, not just to YouTube, but also to Blackboard before 11:59 p.m. Thursday, July 20th. If you've got any questions, let me know. You can email me or check the Q&A discussion board. I am checking it regularly, looking for any good questions that you all might have for me. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Keep it up. We're getting real close to the end of the semester. It's a rough month doing this online. A lot of stuff comes right on top of it, on top of each other, but you guys are going to be almost done once you complete the speech. All right, have a good one.